Hello. I'm hoping you can find me. Hello, everybody. This is the second try for our Art Quilt Thursday. Let's see if anybody can find their way in. And is it any better? Pardon me for you.
It's a better picture.
It is better?
It is a better picture.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll go back then. I'm hoping six people have found their way in. Okay, sorry for yelling, people. I'm just trying to get this fixed. All right, so I'm going to really quickly, no, you don't. Okay.
What?
I'm going to go to my group and let them know where I am. All right, new topic. All right, so I'm just trying to get this down. I apologize for all of this. This is just crazy. So anyway, I don't know how hard it is for y'all to find me. So I worry about that. But hello. Evidently, we had a really bad internet connection because it was extremely blurry. But I'm here now and we're ready to have a little fun. So as I was telling you, this evening has been jinxed since the beginning. But I was working. I've got my quilt set up back here, and I was looking to try to find my photos that I used to compose the pattern that I made. And any of you who would like this pattern, I will be happy to send it to you. Let me find live chat. Come on. Let me see. I don't have live chat now, and that's part of the fun. Oh my goodness, I can't find live chat. Let's see. I cannot. Okay. So I'm going to be sitting here and talking. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can see me. I somehow have lost the live chat feature, and I don't know how to get it back. No, I don't know how to get it. I hate to just leave you hanging. I'll probably do another one tomorrow evening because without your interplay, I don't know what is working or not. But I'll show you some of the things that I have taken and downloaded, some pictures I found when I did searches, and I searched for Mountain Meadow. And by searching for Mountain Meadow, it brought up, okay, let me see. I'm trying really hard. I don't know. I still can't figure out how we can get a hold of the live chat. Let me see. Okay. So, but what happened when I went to set all that up tonight, I've had to get a new laptop because my other one was giving out on me. And so I went to look for the photos I used when I designed, because I used at least 3 different ones. Well, I couldn't find them on my new computer. So I had to quickly go online, look up for some good ideas, and come back in. So I have a few ideas right now here that I'm looking at, and let's keep going. Some people think that if you love art and if you love to paint, that you can just make this stuff up in your head. And I really don't know anybody who does it that way. So understand that most of us have to go do research, and we look up and we decide what do we want to create and how can I do it? So, okay, so I have lit up over there my undersea quilt that we did a few months ago. Then I have another mountain landscape right here that we did a few months ago. And then I have my pink flamingo, my flamingos dreaming of Degas set up there. So now let's get back to this quilt and let me give you a few ideas. This is going to be abbreviated, and I am going to come back on tomorrow night so that I can see you, you can see me, and we can figure out what we're doing here. All right. But for some of you who might not be able to come back tomorrow, I thought I would do a little something today. All right, okay, I'm going to get some light on here and let's get busy working. All right, so here I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a review for those of you who are new. I like to use good old unbleached muslin. You won't end up seeing it once it's done, and it's a wonderful, inexpensive fabric to work on. So I've got this in mind. Let me see. I have my tape measure right here. So if you're asking me questions, remember that for whatever reason, I cannot see my live chat. I am so sorry. And so it's 24 wide by 21 long, but you can make it whatever size you want. And if you want my pattern, then you might say, well, this is not the same size. But what I do in the first episode is show you how to fold the pattern into 16 equal segments like this and iron it really good. Then do the same thing with whatever size fabric you want your quilt to be. You fold it and iron it into 16 equal segments. Then you simply draw what you find in that particular segment. And it's the easiest way that you can translate a pattern to fabric. And this is a great way of resizing without having to use expensive copy machines or taking it to a copy company and paying money for it. So you have 16 segments, and whatever you see in that segment, you draw what is in this segment. Okay? So I'll be happy to send you this, and if you just do segment by segment, you will be able to figure it out. All right, I need to check something here. I was a little concerned because this looks a little pale for my back sky. But now that I'm looking at it, I feel okay about it. I think I went and found some more violets and periwinkles in my stash, and I thought about changing it out. Like this, if I did the mountain here, it almost already, because of the dappled look, it almost looks like snow as it is. But now that I look at this, I'm liking it pretty good. Also, I cut out another piece of sky. I'm thinking about putting a cloud over part of the mountain, like that, to show how far back that mountain really is, that this cloud is over part of it. So I put a few bits of glue, and here we go. All right, because I was looking at my clouds, and I've got two. Well, in nature, I try not to do even numbers because nature is very random, and even numbers don't look very random. So, and I thought, this is a wonderful way of giving depth and dimension to this mountain. All right. And then I had a dark piece of green here, and I don't like it. So I took that off, and I'm going to do that again. So let me pull these things over so that I can be closer to the light and the camera. I mounted my camera up higher last week. Well, actually, my wonderful IT man mounted my camera up higher so that I could have a better light system. All right, so I was thinking about using these. I think I'm going to back off that now. So what I am going to do, I need a better light box because I want to cut out some snow for the mountain. Let me see. Maybe I can just transcribe it by hand because I didn't make a full-size pattern yet. So some of my self-dyed fabrics I'm going to try to use for the snow on the mountain. Okay. Because this, I don't know, it looks like I did a little bit of a scrunch with this, but this already has that look of snow on top of a mountain. So let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use some fusible and I'm going to draw. Okay, I'm going to draw it on the fusible so that I'm going to draw it on the fusible so that it will come out just like I like it. Now I'm going to try something because when you use a fusible, you have to do a reverse situation. Okay, and let me put this here. I need to know, I need about this much for the snow. Okay, I need about, and I'm going to try to draw on the sticky fusible side because that way I'll be able to see it. If I do it the other way, I have to draw backwards, and I'm not so good at drawing backwards. So now let me get a marking pen that will be easy and I can see through it. All right. So I'm going to draw this as I look at it. Then when I iron it to the fabric, that's why I'm using a Sharpie. I'm going to iron it to the fabric. It'll be the correct way. For any of you who just came in, for some reason the internet is acting up at first. Y'all couldn't see me. I was so blurry, had a bad connection. And now, for whatever reason, I can't get live chat. And I'm so sorry. So I am sitting here, and I'm going to be on tomorrow night at the same time so that I can make sure that we see the chatting, because I don't like it when I can't see you and talk to you. So now what I'm going to do is the mountain, I'm going to recreate how I've done the mountain here. So then I know exactly where to draw the snow. So this is, I'm kind of going around my elbow, but you know, sometimes we get little different problems and we have to do the best we can. So what I've done is I've just, boy, it's hard for you to see exactly where that, let me pull this down a little. And I don't know if you can see this light lavender. I recreated that onto here, okay? And this way, yes, I'm going to be wasting a little of this fusible. But to get this snow, I'm thinking of doing it in one piece to make it easy for me. So now I'm going to come in here, and what I see how I've see how I've drawn the snow here for you? The W is white for snow. So what I'm going to do is this is just to let me know what size that mountain is. And it gives me reference points. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw some snow. And, you know, I can make it any way I want because, remember, everything tends to change. And there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you're doing at that time. So I'm just trying to follow the drawing here. And I'm not going to do it the whole way. I want to come back over here and do some shapes. And this will just come down to here. Because just in case I get it wrong, you know, and this will help me keep on the correct path. All right, and I'm going to come in this way with this. Okay, so now I think I have drawn a reasonably good, and I have these two little areas that I'll end up putting in. But let's see, this one I can add in. Maybe I can add them in right now like this. Okay, so I'll come down to here. All right, so now I've kind of drawn that snow. And I'm drawing it, like I said, on the sticky part because that way I don't have to translate. You know, I have a hard time drawing backwards, okay? And see why I used the Sharpie? Because now I can see it through once I put it on the fabric. And normally I use just glue, but there are times that this could be really, really helpful. All right. So now let me find my best. Ooh, this is a good one for snow. But you'll notice that snow is very rarely really white. It's usually a bluish white. So, oh, look at this one. This is a great one. So I think using this fabric is going to be wonderful. Here, this is the prettiest. This is the prettiest image of all. And see how the mountain looks blue because it reflects from the sky. And see how the snow, instead of being pure white, most of it has a bluish cast with maybe some of the center a pure white. All right, so now I'm going to look for a good area of this fabric. I've got my iron preheated. Now, people will tell you batiks have no wrong or right, but I disagree with that. What I find with batiks, now this acts like a batik because it's a hand dyed, but if you find a little area where you see like creases and then look at both sides, on this side, it's not as sharp. It's kind of faded out. So that means I put the dye on this side of the fabric. So this is the side of the fabric that I want to show up. All right, so I'm going to come here. I want this side to show up. Let me cut off all of the excess. Let me find some smaller scissors. All right, I'm just going to cut the part that has the snow. So now I don't need the lines I drew for the mountain because I already have the snow where I want it. And this is a good time to add a little oomph. You know, if you want a craggier line, this is a great time to do it. Because, you know, the snow fits in the jigs and the jags of the mountain. So the more angles you have, the more realistic it will look. Okay, so so now here is the jaggedy upper line. And remember that the pieces, you start at the top of your landscape, you work your way down, and you leave extra on the bottom because then whatever you put in front of this mountain, that actually will, whoops, let me see. Hold on. Nope. Okay. I have to do this. I have to this has to have some space. These are little areas. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. So there's, yeah, that's looking better. Okay. Now I have to come up here and follow these lines. And it's important because to do this because I don't want to have so much of the fabric gummed up with the fusible. So today I was working on some buttons for an art, a Valentine's quilt that we're doing on our Sunday show. And the movie that was on was Cocoon. I don't know if y'all remember that movie. And Ron Howard did it. Do you realize that movie was made back in 1985? I said, oh my goodness. My almost 40-year-old daughter would have just been a toddler then. So that was you could really tell too. It's so funny because now it's like, yep, it looked like an 80s movie, but what a sweet, charming little movie. I love Ron Howard films. They always have such heart in them. Okay, so here we go. Now bring this down here. And let me do this. I'm sorry it's a little boring to watch me cut, but I needed to show you how I did this, and then we'll see once. And I want you to see the entire progress. This is not going to be a really fast quilt because I want you to see every step so that you're not. I want you to feel empowered that yes, you too can do this. So now I'll put all my scraps out of the way, off the surface. This surface under here is also my ironing board. So, okay. So here is the snow we're going to put on this mountain, like this. All right. So then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it under here because I already know that this is the pretty side. Okay. In fact, I will turn it ugly side up so I can make sure when I iron this on, it's just right. Okay. Let me get an ironing sheet. I don't want to mess up my iron. Okay. I'm going to lay this sticky side down. I'm going to cut this loose over here. Put this here. All right. I'm going to turn off that light in a minute. I sometimes notice that the longer the light stays on, the darker the camera darkens it down. So let me see. Let me see if the automatic sensor will come back up. All right. So I put this ironing sheet on. This is a Teflon. You can get them in silicone or Teflon. This is the Teflon type. All right. There we go. So now is when I'm going to use my light box. All right. Pardon me a second. Get my light box plugged in. And you know, this is not one of the fancy light boxes, but I got it secondhand for $10. That's odd the way the light is across there. I need to check it. All right. So now I take the fabric that I put. Look at that. See? Now we can see it really, really good. So first I'm going to cut the basic. And remember, feel free to make your hand wiggle and jiggle. The more movement in the fabric, the more realistic look you will get. I heard someone talk about they have a light box that has a cutting mat on top of it. Well, how cool would that be? Because then you can really see what you're doing. You can use a rotary cutter and cut it out right on top of the light box. So I would have to check and see what in the world that is. I tell you what, y'all are so lucky to be quilting now. There are so many wonderful products. And that just makes it so, so nice. It's a great time to be a quilter. It's a great time to be an artist in general. All right, so now I have that line cut out. And let me quickly try to finish this. I know you're probably getting bored, but I can't wait to put this on the mountain and show you how it looks. And what I can do is just lay it there so I can pick it up and do some more fine cutting maybe later and then iron it down. But I do want to show you how to get that look of snow. I just cut my finger. Oh, goodness. I just cut my finger. I told you that, gals, this is not my day, is it? This is not my day. I was trying to work too fast. Okay, so now let me go back here. Be careful when you're working with scissors. You might have used scissors for 60 years. There's still a moment that you can't see it. That's probably the better. All right. So now I'm just going to keep my scissors moving. Okay. This light box feels warm. The new ones are LED, and I bet you they're wonderful because they won't get as warm. All right. So I'm not going to take off all of it because I just want to be able to show you. All right. I'm just going to try to quickly get it good enough to show you the basics. But I hope you're all having a good day and good weathers, and don't bleed on your fabric. Don't bleed on your fabric. I'm going to turn that light off again. It's getting... Okay. Let's see. Sometimes it's not good to go so fast. Okay. And don't worry about the lines I drew because when I take the paper off, those lines will go with it. Okay. All right. Okay, now let me turn this off, unplug this, get it out of the way. All right. See, I kind of cut my finger. Okay. Now, it's not as bad as when I cut the tip of my thumb, because when I cut the tip of my thumb, that's a part of the finger you've got to use a lot, and I had a little problem with that. But okay. Now what I'm going to do now is take this snow line, and put it in place here, and you'll see that I made it long enough to get tucked under the other mountain. Let's pull it up and get it just where I want it. All right. And I will be able to refine it even more. So, and then I will come over here and add more snow. And because if you look at the picture, you can see some snow in the shadows, some out in the sun. And so that's why I really loved having this mottled fabric. And let's say you don't have any, you just have some white. Well, we will be using ink tints before we're done too. And when we use ink tints, we can create the shadows there. So, and then I've got more of this to put down here when I'm done. So I will get all of this cut out and finished. Okay. Yep, I think I got my finger. It's just luckily it's just a little, I just kind of did a little nip. So a couple days with a bandage, I will be fine. Now, this is the fabric that I'm going to use for my tree line. I can't wait to put this in. And my tree line's going to run right along here, and I'll put a cabin in front. Whoops, turn your tree line fabric right side. All right, now I have to find a fabric to come on this side. Whoops, didn't mean to pull up my, let me get my cloud back down. Okay, so now what I want to do is see how much of this fabric is wasted because it's covered up with something else. So I'm going to come in here, remove the iron. I'm going to come in here and cut all this away. No sense in having it there. Then you've just wasted your fabric. So what I do is I line them up where I think and then there. That's much better. So now what I have to do is add this part in. I was trying to think about whether I might want to use this fabric over here. I need something a little darker. In landscapes, you get darker and more vibrant as you get to you. This gets more faded. In fact, that's one thing I'm worried about the sky. It is a little bright. So I have a feeling I'm going to come in with some white ink tints and try in gray and try to dull it down here, letting it at the horizon, it's lighter and it gets more vibrant as you go up. Okay? But in between, when we're looking, just remember you've got air and ozone and all of that in between you and what you're looking at. I think this is the fabric that I'm going to want to put there because I want to come darker. This is why I love art quilts, because all you need are scraps. And if you put the scraps to good use, it's amazing. And the more, to an extent, having a few extra pieces of color, that variation makes it look so much better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm trying to also get a little movement to my mountain. So I'm going to come here, and I love these chalk markers. So what I'm going to do here is kind of come up. This is more of a hill that is, we've got two large mountains and then this hill. So this is closer to you. So it's more green in color, and it doesn't have the snow in it, on it, because it's just a little hill that's near. Only the tallest mountain has snow, and that's because of the altitude. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to run this in, and let's see. I want to draw something kind of neat and tidy. Let me see if I can find a green hill. See here, and you have the different, see it, you can just have little lines. And what I'm doing, if you look at this green mountain, I'm just doing layering fabric colors to give you the undulation of the mountains, okay? And here there's a tree line. That's kind of what I'm replicating. So, but here right here is a nice green mountain. And, it has, on this one right here, and you see all of the different colored greens on this mountain, which are trees and divots and whatever. So that's what my different colors are representing. And I'm going from a light part of this hill that's farther away to the darker that's closer to you. All right, so now I get the glue, and I'm going to put the glue on here. And I only have to put the glue up along the top, okay? Just to kind of, this is all holding it into place until I use I have them all right here together. Here are my monofilament threads. These are from Superior Threads, and they're called monopoly. They're polyester monofilament. This is a smoky to use for dark colors. Here's the clear. You see I use a lot more clear. This is a YLI that's also very good. So I have these. Once I put everything, get it glued in place and tacked there, then when I've got enough put down, I'll take it to the sewing machine and do a zigzag with the invisible thread. And that is really nice because then you don't see it. All right, now this mountain is going to end. Where is my pattern piece? Okay, let me see. Here is my pattern. I drew this pattern up a few weeks ago, so I do have to refer to it. Okay, so this green mountain is going to stop right up here, okay? It's going to stop right here. So now I'll come in with my chalk, and I will draw that because the lake is here. The little stream part of the lake is here. So, and the lake will go on top of these, so don't worry about that. But anyway, so it's going to come up here. This is the lake. And then it's going to come up this way. All right, so now what I can do is peel this back and cut away this extra because there's no sense wasting it. It's not needed once it has a layer on top of it. And I have a whole lot of art quilts left to make. So I want to keep any unnecessary fabric. Plus, you don't want the heavy layers when it comes time to embellish it and quilt it. So see what I've done now? By cutting loose underneath there, I've saved a good amount of fabric. And here I can even save some of this. So, all right. All right. So now that part is pretty good. And all right. All right, then I'll trim it over here on this edge. I don't worry about having the edge perfect. I just try to keep it neat enough so that I get a better view of what exactly I'm doing. So now I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to glue it down a little better. Okay. All right. So here is what we have. So here, whoops, what we have by the pattern is our green hill. Then further back, we have a dark periwinkle mountain and a much taller, bigger, light periwinkle mountain because it gets lighter the farther away. And then I've got my clouds. Now that I decided to put this cloud over the mountain, I'm going to peel off this cloud and move it a little further out of the way. So I'm going to, and remember, I just do some good dots of glue because it's just to hold it into place until I use the invisible monofilament. Okay. So I'm going to cut this up a little bit more. It's a little heavy, so I'm going to kind of make it a little craggier before I iron it down. And that way I can take my time and do it just right. Because in this photo right here, you see how you get little bits and, you know, the craggier the better. So I will be working on that. Tomorrow night, we'll pick up from here. And I'm going to refine the snow on the mountain. And, you know, another good thing is to make it not quite too bright, so, and not so big, so that you still get that feeling of depth. But having the fabrics go from lighter to darker, to lighter to more saturated, will help move your eye through your landscape. Okay? All right. So, and then tomorrow, I have something exciting to share with you. I met a woman who left a comment on our sites about her landscape, and she does paper landscapes. And she is quite talented, and I will share with you her art site and some pictures of her work because I like to expose you to as wide a range and audience and ideas as I possibly can. Also, we have some great photos of Jody's and Cheryl's where they have been working on their art quilts. And Jody's is a person. And I think you'll really like Frankie. So some of you who are watching Sunday might know what Frankie I mean. So this will probably stay in the foreground to do some meadow. I'm looking at different colors. This will be part of my tree line that I will also use the other fabric. I will use both of these for the tree line. And I have some other darks. And then I will, oh, here's really good colors for the tree line. I mean, for the meadow line. So when we come back tomorrow night, I'll work on finishing this area and getting our cabin established because I'm very excited to do the cabin. All right, I will close up my stuff and turn off my iron, and I will see you tomorrow night where, if we're lucky, we'll get a good connection from the beginning and we will pick up right where we left off because I would like to get most of the fabric laid in so then we can start some of the fun. So please come back and I'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and we will work some more on our meadow. Okay, we'll finish down, we'll finish the water, the cabin, the tree line, and then block in our meadow. All right. That's very, very good. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if you were chatting with me that I couldn't see your chat, but tomorrow night I'll make sure we're set up perfect. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and come back tomorrow night if you can for Art Quilt Friday, a special edition. And hopefully I won't cut myself and the internet will be working better. So take good care. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye, guys. You're the best. We'll see you tomorrow for more fun. Bye-bye, guys.